What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN OnyxCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is looking like, my friends, it is looking like we have had our opportunities to move up higher, and we have not taken them, right? We are coming to lower levels of volume than we've ever seen in this consolidation phase, at least on a 4-hour basis. If we look at this on CoinMarketCap, XCN has pretty decent volume in comparison to its market cap. Still very good volume in comparison to its market cap, but it's not enough, I think, to hold the price up here. It might be time, as painful as it is, to wave the white flag of surrender to the bears. The bears got us on this one, you guys. Potentially. I don't want to say that it's a definite thing that we're moving below this low, but I think it's time to start considering this at the very least, right? And I want to say why it's not definite yet, but I'm going to give you some lines to look at for breaking up to validate that we are moving higher, or breaking lower to validate that we are going lower. And if we do go lower, I want to be very clear. I'm expecting we will find support probably right around 1.2 cents, if not at the very lowest 1 cent. Okay, that's something we've talked about. I mean, we've talked about throughout this whole range, guys. 1.3 to 1.2, 1.5 cents, all those things before we were ever in this target. I was not expecting that we would get this low. Don't mistake my words for saying that. I'm just saying this has been an obvious range as a potential low, even when I was counting on this to be the low, even when I was counting on this to be the low. I always did say that it is very important to consider this range, okay? Just as we are here, even though I've been very bullish and interpreting that we would not move lower than this low, I have been very much, I think, daily considering that we could move down to 1.2 to 1 cent itself too. So this is not out of the realm of expectations. This shouldn't catch anybody off by surprise, but it's not what I was expecting personally. I definitely was expecting that we would move up higher. Make no mistake, I'm not trying to play both sides of the coin and then take credit for the side that plays out. I definitely did call for us to move up higher. I definitely did call for us to move down or not move below this low. I'm not trying to make myself look good, but I'm also trying to be very clear and direct. But you have to be. I have to. I don't even know I have to have these semantics in my words, because if I say we have mentioned this area, some people will think that I'm saying I've called it. This is not what I called. I want to be very clear. But let's get beyond all the shenanigans here, okay? 1.413 cents, the 886. I was saying yesterday that if we close below it, that would likely suggest that we go down to the extended zones. But if by some grace we do close the next candle above it, that might absolve us. However, we've had that absolution. I don't know how absolvement. We've been absolved of going lower for a time, but we haven't done anything with it. We're still finding resistance at the 786. We found support at the 786, and we found resistance at the 0.5, finding resistance at the golden ratio. Everything to the bearish effect that we've not wanted to see is coming true. We've had opportunities to bounce here. We've bounced off the oversold zone, and now we're rejecting the 40 area twice. I can't look at this thing and tell you guys honestly that I believe we're going to move up from here, right? And I do think we're going to move up from here in a matter of no time at all. It's literally a matter of time, if not next week, the week after. Literally, at some point this month, we will start moving up. But how much lower do we have to go? I think that's important to talk about, because I am considering that we move lower. And now that I've said that, maybe we can pump, okay? Maybe we can pump, and I would love that. It's great whenever you are calling for prices to go lower and then you're proven wrong, especially whenever you're making money doing it. But it's also great whenever you've been expecting things to move up higher and they go lower, and you have some money on the side to buy some more. And that's exactly what I plan on doing with OnyxCoin down at these prices at 1.2 cents to 1 cent. I will likely buy at 1.2 cents, not even at 1.193 cents. I'll just put some buy orders there, because if we look at this on a daily time frame, what was it? What was my reason? I had a reason for that. Maybe, oh yeah. What was it? Was it this daily high close? Maybe it was the 4-hour. Let me go back here. No, I was just looking at it, and I swear I had a reason. I wanted to talk. Oh, okay, that's what it was. Now I remember. Going all the way back. Yes. Okay, so if we look at this on a weekly time frame here, right? Looking at the price action, we're finding support here at this weekly closing high. That's what's been holding us up for the past 2 weeks, okay? And that we're in the land of the sun, the land of the rising sun soon enough. If we're here, if we go down to the next weekly closing high area, that would be right about here, and that's literally right at 1.225 cents. That will be where I'm going to buy. That's where I will place my buy orders. In fact, I'll probably do that right after this video. Not probably, I'm going to do that right after this video. I'm going to buy right at this area, literally to a T, right at that area there. If not, maybe even just a little bit below, because I do think we go below 1.2 cents, but between 1.2 to 1.225, somewhere in that zone is where I'm going to be layering some buy orders out, right? I don't put everything I have in just one buy order, even if it is a small amount. I layer it out because then it's more likely to get filled, right? I put some above, I put some below, I put some throughout, just all that kind of stuff, okay? But likely the highest buy order will be at 1.225 cents personally. And then the lowest one, I probably won't put my lowest one below 1.2 cents. I'll just layer it out throughout there. I am expecting that we go lower, okay? 4-hour time frame. If we take this relative low here to this relative high, come on now, the 1272 is just below this line, and that's at 1.198 cents. Could we go lower than this? And the answer is yes, we could go all the way down to the nice psychological area of support at 1 cent. We could go lower to the golden ratio, the 1618. We absolutely could. It's very possible. Or anywhere and everywhere in between these white lines here. Okay, anywhere and everywhere in between. I'm going to delete this because we don't need that white line there. It's very, very possible. Okay. If we look back, the 1272 here, it's not really sensible from a price perspective, in my opinion, other than you are right at this like focal point right before the breakout. And sometimes, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but sometimes if you look for areas of support in a range, oftentimes you find support at the top of the range or at the bottom of the range, but sometimes you find it right at like the point. And I wonder if I can actually find an example just to show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? Because that might not be, the words that I use might not be good enough to explain. Let me see if I can explain. Okay, so like this range over here, right? This is our top range of Bitcoin for the 2021-2020 bull cycle, okay? If we had a focal point here, it would be somewhere around here and here, right? Something in there. It's not an exact point, but if you notice, we did find turbulence literally right in this area, right around here, like right there. That's kind of that's a good example, but not the most perfect example. Let's see if we can find something that's better, you know. Right here, we have a focal point right here. I would call that, I don't know what else to call it, so I'm going to call it a focal point. And if you look, we tipped it. We literally tipped it and found support. Of course, inevitably we went lower, but sometimes these little focal points, and then even here where you have this pattern and you're breaking out right at this point here, that's actually where you touched, right? Over here you have one, but you didn't interact with it at all, so it's not a perfect thing. I'm just saying sometimes you do. Even here where you have this little triangle, I hope it's obvious as to where and why I'm drawing these, right? You've got this, like, maybe we could call it an apex right there. You know, you're finding resistance, and even afterwards support. So with that in mind, it might be completely conceivable that we could find support right at this focal point, literally right there, right at about 1.2 cents, being that it's here. And then also on a weekly perspective, going back in time where we had closing resistance here, it's in this area of consolidation over there. And it's also in this area of consolidation where Justin Sun got involved, multi-billionaire players getting involved and stuff like that. I would think that the floor is going to hold when it comes to these prices. If we go lower than that, and that's my expectation, right? Around 1.2 cents, maybe even just above 1.2 cents, but I can't really see a scenario with the fibs where you don't interact with this 1272. Okay, but still, even then, I'm still buying above because XCN has proven a few times to be front ran, both in terms of selling and buying. So I'm just, in preparation of that, I'm going to have some buy orders set a little bit above the 1272. But also prepare yourselves. It's completely possible that we could drop all the way to 1 cent. We talk about 1 cent as this nice area of support. It's a nice psychological area of support. It's a very strong point of support, and it is. But what that means from the current price, you guys, would be that we are going to drop something on the lines of 27%. So that is a relatively big drop, especially considering what we've been through already, 72% overall. That doesn't mean 72 plus 26. That's not what's going to happen, right? You can't do that. But 26% could be, 27% could be the maximum drop that we have from here. And we could go lower. It is possible. I don't think that we go lower, but we could even go lower than that because, again, we did find support here. We found support at 0.00833 on a closing basis, on a wicking basis, and even above that, right? It could happen. And if we do go below 1 cent, I'm not going to panic at all. I will just have to sit on my hands because I'm definitely going to lay the hammer down at 1.2 cents, and I'm okay with that. That's just my style. Not everybody's the same, right? Some people are more, to me, that is risk averse because you're lowering your risk of an opportunity cost there. But to some people, that's more risky because you're openly buying whenever you could very well see prices going lower. So you're basically accepting that you're going to see negatives. But for me, I can understand why people would say that that's not risk averse, but for me, it is just the way, because I know myself. I know that I can buy here, and as long as it's going to an area that I expect, I'm okay with that. It's not ideal. You want to ideally buy at the most low, but what's even less ideal is you buy here. It goes, or that's not the less. This is not the less ideal thing, right? Buying here, it goes down, and then it goes up to the areas you're thinking. That's not the unideal thing. The unideal thing to me would be expecting it to go to this area, and then it bounces above where anybody thought it would, and then you miss your opportunity, and then you're forced to FOMO in at higher prices. That's the worst thing to me, is being forced to either sit out or be forced to FOMO in at higher prices, right? I would rather just get in. That's my style. So I hope that all makes sense. I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say. I hope you're all aware that we are still in a very, very dominant bullish trend. Okay, absolutely. This is not a pump and dump. A pump and dump does not look like this. This is not a pump and a dump. That's how it looks, right? This is a nice tight bull flag. Okay, even if we go lower, it's still a nice tight bull flag. And whenever it comes time to breaking out, which might be next week or the week after, sometime this month, the targets are still the same, something between 11 cents to 26 cents, 27 cents, and even potentially beyond that by the end of this move, which could extend into May. It really could extend into May. Everybody that has a problem with that, they just don't have patience, or they're just trolling, or they genuinely don't know how time works for some reason. It would make sense that if I've been calling for a 10-cent price since here even this week, it would make sense that as time goes on, without breaking out, that 10 to 11 cent price area would only get pushed back in time, right? We're still expecting the same prices. That hasn't changed. It's just the time that has changed. Why? Because we haven't moved up yet. I feel like it's a very logical line of thinking, but a lot of people like to point out that, oh, he just keeps pushing it back, and it's like, well, yeah, what do you want me to do? It's the targets are still there. Whether it happens here, right? For me, at least how I look at it, and maybe not everybody looks at it this way. Whether it happens like this or it happens like this, to me, it doesn't matter. It's gonna get there. If all I have to do is be patient, all I have to do is deal with the shitheads saying, he keeps pushing the price back, and they only speak louder as we get lower. I know just as well here as I did here that once we're up here, those same shitheads aren't going to be anywhere to be found. They're just loud at the lows, and then they go and find somebody else to bother whenever we move up. But it'd be rather entertaining. I hope the shitheads stick around. I miss you guys. You're very quiet whenever we actually do well. So hopefully you're not strangers. We like you. We want to see you. We want your engagement in the comments. So don't be strangers even whenever we do move up. But for the time being, this one does go out to the shitheads. You guys got me on this one. I think that we are going to go lower, and that's okay. I'm just going to buy more. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm going to be buying more at 1.2 cents around that area. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. And if you're one of those people who's like, I would buy more, man, but I've got like $5,000 to my name. I got $1,000 to my name. I put everything I can already in, and that's cool. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. You shouldn't have all of your money in one thing. Okay, you shouldn't. But if you're fully deployed in the markets, I get it, right? I'm basically fully deployed in the markets myself. But even if you can scrap together $10, $100, $20, if it can do a 10x from here, which it likely will, right? If it's hard for you to scrap together $10, then I would assume a 10x on that at $100 or more, that would be beneficial to you, right? There's nothing. A lot of people make this misconception that in order to invest, you need 4 figures or more. You need at least $1,000 to make it sizable. If it's less than 1,000, then what am I even doing? No. you can put in $100. You can put in $20. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Whatever is significant to you, or is something that you can scrap together, it can turn into something that's more significant whenever this move is all said and done. And the more that you chip away at it, the more of these little pieces that you put in at these lower prices, the better that your overall gains are going to be. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't want anybody to overextend themselves financially. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you're not in a position where you're buying something, you're putting all your chips in, you're putting your rent money in or your grocery money in, and then the price just keeps going down, because then you're going to have to take a loss because you have to pay your bills. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Put money in that you don't necessarily need in the short term, but likely within the next 2 weeks. I think this is going to get some resolution. I think that we will have our low and we'll be moving up. When we move up, one thing is for certain, right? However high we move, I don't know exactly where we're going to go. I would expect it is somewhere between 11 cents and 26 cents. I'm in favor of that 20-cent area myself, 15.5 to 20-cent area myself. But we absolutely could go higher than that. I'm not fully confident as to what price we're going to be at, right? I'm not a psychic, but what I am completely confident in is that when we move up, it'll probably take a week or two at the most to eat up this whole range that took us 7 weeks to form, right? It's going to take us a lot less time to see all-time highs than it is to have formed this overall pattern. So when it does come time to moving up, it's going to be very swift, okay? And we're preparing ourselves, right? Moments like this where you go lower, it's only an opportunity to buy more or get in at a good price. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but those are just my thoughts. I'll definitely be buying more. I'm excited to buy more. I always am. It's the best whenever you're wrong and you get to put yourself in a better position of strength, okay? It just depends on how you look at it, right? And if people are fearful right now, just understand you're not alone. You're not alone. The whole market's fearful right now. And oftentimes, at least throughout this whole bull market, and oftentimes throughout any bull market, it's whenever we are at the most fearful areas that we are near our lows, if not at our lows. So just be aware of that. We are at some of the most fearful levels that we've been at this whole damn cycle. It's going to come. The time's going to come. It's very, very soon, you guys. You just got to be patient. This is a retail shakeout. This is something that only people who are in their first bull market are scared for, they're not prepared for, and they don't believe that the money's going to come back. But anybody that's been in a bull cycle, a crypto bull cycle for at least one cycle, hopefully 2 cycles or more, you've learned your lesson by now that these are not the moments to sell. These are the moments to acquire more, okay? And we might not have timed it perfectly, but we're going to make up for that with time. With this thing moving up in no time, we'll probably be above 11 cents, very, very likely to 15.5 cents or higher. That's my expectations. I am going to end the video here. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.